I never realized it up until now. I mean, I kind of sort of realized this, but like I never really, really realized this until recently. What on earth are you talking about, Jan? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. We talk oftentimes about frugal living and frugal living choices, okay? And many people tend to jump into a more frugal lifestyle after an event. Example, a person picks up their mail, they see something from, let's say, an agency or something of which they relied upon for X number of months or even a couple of years, and they find out for some reason or another there's been some sort of a change, maybe some sort of downward modification or some sort of a cutback or cut out or a break in their system of whatever it is that they were expecting to receive in terms of some sort of income source, whether that source be a like monetary source, I mean, in actual dollars and cents, or some other way of an income source, whether it's in, direct or indirect. But there has been some sort of an unexpected surprise. This is one of the reasons why I have said many times I am not a fan of surprises, other than nice things like, birthday party surprise, unexpected gift surprise. You see where I'm going with this, and I am sure many of you listening are in the same boat as I am. You like that kind of a surprise. Henceforth, the reason that I call up every single year to my local utility company, because I like the level payment plan for that reason, as I go into it very, very detailed in a prior video about that. It helps me prevent living that month to month. What's that bill going to be this month? The utility bills, the electric or gas bill. And every month it's a surprise. Surprise. This kind of surprise Janet doesn't like. But let's talk about frugal living choices and unexpected income loss, whether it's, like a benefit loss or a mistake that might have been made, paperwork thing that has to be cleared up, but will take a couple of weeks' time, perhaps a month to, fix it back to where it's supposed to be. You see where I'm going with this. Human error. People make mistakes. Office workers make mistakes. Human beings make mistakes. But make no mistake, try to always have a backup plan. Now, I look personally as the frugal lifestyle as not as a plan B backup. Okay. I look at it as what I just called it, a frugal living or frugal lifestyle, matter of choices that I personally like to adapt all the time. All the time. I take out my frugal toolbox. I like to be ready. The reason why I live that way is because it gives me less of that, what's the word I'm looking for here? Anxiety of, all the what ifs this, what if that. By sitting down and knowing your numbers, by planning a budget, by keeping a roadmap, by working with perhaps a budget binder or an envelope system. These are visible, tangible ways to get a hold, get a grasp on your numbers. For people that live the devil may care lifestyle with their money, it's like throwing the money on the wall like the spaghetti and trying to hope and pray that it sticks to the wall. Well, good luck with that. Not sure how long I personally could live that way. I need to know. I'm the type, I like answers. I like to know in advance because if something stinks in the beginning, it's going to stink worse at the end of the month. Let's say that again. It's not a very nice thing to say. But if something stinks in the beginning, it's going to stink worse at the end of the month. Oh, Jad, I know it's a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. But if a person finds out that some numbers at the beginning of the month stink, then they could take that stink and clean it up and fix the problem so that there is no horrendously uncontrollable, disgusting, worse situation. All right, I'm trying to be more polite here because you never know, might be eating breakfast listening to this. All right, at the end of the month, a little bit of preventative action, catching a problem before it really comes to a head. You see, that's the problem. A lot of people, they wait and wait, take zero action and hope and pray that it goes away. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that too. I'm sorry to be sounding negative on this, but I have to be negative in this case in order to bring out the positive. So the question for me to you begs is this: is there a plan B in case of sudden income loss? It doesn't just have to be a job, because people have various forms of income. Like I said, people may be getting things, deposited into their accounts, like a type of a benefit, and there might be a clerical error on their end, and you have to contact the whatever, whomever the there may be, to go over things and straighten things out to make sure things go to you that are supposed to go to you. Okay. Do you have a period of time that, oh my word, you'd be in deep, deep, deep trouble financially if if no action is taken? I mean, some people, I mean, not some, scratch that. Many people are one or two paychecks away from, I hate to use this term, but homelessness. Many people are just a couple of paychecks away. You see, this is why I always try to emphasize, and I'm no expert, I'm just Jan that likes to talk, okay? And in my honest opinion, because to me it's logical, while things are quieter for that person in their financial life, A, come up with plan B. That sounds funny, saying A and then come up with plan B. But you see where I'm going with this. In other words, number one, come up with a plan B should something happen, should something unforeseen happen. As always, I hope and pray for the best for everybody. And that's a wonderful thing. But can I guarantee you that everybody's going to have, this neatly cut ribbon tied up like a present kind of a lifestyle every single day? Of course not. Absolutely, of course not. A person can wake up on a Monday morning and think everything is A-OK, get dressed, do the right thing, jump in their car, fill it up with gas, even bring their own coffee to work, only to find out that their job is no more. That is not fun. Okay, that is so not fun. And sometimes people have a little bit of a gift where they're noticing things, like they're paying attention to what's going around them in their company, and they're like, why did so and so get let go? That person was a good worker. And then you look around, you see another person like the prior week. I'm like, what is going on here? And then you get the call to go into the office, and they tell you every place is different. Some places say this will 2 weeks from now will be your last day, which I was blessed with, because in my case, when I was laid off back on Valentine's Day 1997, and I was at that job many years. Anything over 5 years these days is considered many years. So I was there, what, 7 or 8 years? I don't remember exactly, but it was quite a while. So they said 2 weeks from today is your last day. They didn't say today is your last day. But can I tell you, most companies don't do that. Well, don't forget that was 1997. A lot has changed since then in so many ways. Many people go into an executive office room, or I mean, HR, like in person, or today, many people don't even do that. They tap on their computer and they get a message for a mandatory meeting. This is what I understood from what I hear about from people. To get like an email saying mandatory meeting for XYZ. And they go on, then some person, executive type, tells them this is your last day. And as of now, whatever, they deactivate their computer thing. I don't know. I never did any type of work like that. So I couldn't tell you. In my day, it was a real person in a real office right in front of your face. Not fun. But looking back, thankfully, I had the gift of, well, okay, 2 weeks from today is your last day. Now, I had a ton of sick days coming to me. But this is just an aside. And I never took them. I never took them because even if I didn't feel good, I was so devoted to my job. I went in. How many of you out there are the same way? I bet you are. I bet you are that type of person. I went in even if my throat was bothering me. I went in even if I felt body aches. Oh, it was unbelievable. looking back. I didn't use up my sick time. So somebody smart said, Jan, you better use up your sick time because guess what? They're not going to pay you the money for those days you didn't use. Oh, then I realized, you know what? I need a mental break considering the traumatic shock of being told you have 2 weeks from today is your last day. Not everybody's that lucky. They don't have that 2 week window. They didn't have a severance package. A lot of people get a severance package. Depends on the type of job you have. Okay. So some people are like, okay, bye. And they have like a a computer. You could be a commuter, but some people have a computerized electronic meeting, like basically a video chat of being terminated or laid off, whatever word you want to use. I don't know. They use these pretty euphemisms, I think, to keep people calmer and at bay. So, what happens to the person that didn't prepare at all for that possibility? Please be alert. If you're working, be alert. Listen to certain aspects of the news. Don't dwell on negative information, but gather up information. What's going on in your company? Do you see signs of things growing and everything? Hey, that's a good thing. But even no matter what you look around you, please tap into your own personal economy. Some might remember about a week and a half back, I talked about how, people's definition of economy. There's the world economy that we turn on the news, we hear about all the time, but there's our own economy. We are totally and completely responsible for our own economy. You can't just drift around like a balloon from place to place with no clear direction of your own finances, or people are going to end up, as I call it, in the doghouse. You don't want to be living in no little tiny, well, although today, I'm just being facetious here, you don't want to be living hard, is basically what I'm saying, especially good people. I would venture to guess 99% of the people listening to this broadcast are excellent people. They get up, they make their coffee, they go to work. Even if they're retired and not working for an employer, so what? But they are working as best as they could in their capacity that they can. Many seniors live from paycheck to paycheck on a fixed income. Please check in on any senior that you know. How you doing? Give them a how you doing call. I mean it. Once in a while, would it hurt you to make them a banana bread or an apple bread and, surprise them with that and a pot of coffee, or, you see where I'm going with this? Like, I don't know why it just popped in my head, but I think a lot of our seniors who have given us so much value over the years and the shared wisdom, like we look back at, we look fondly at our grandmother's day, right? Grandma and grandpa, all the sacrifices they made. But what about the current grandmas and grandpas of right now? Take that minute. I think personally, I think that is a very important thing to do. Check in. The weather's bad. How you doing? You all right? Need anything? And I mean it with sincerity. That, like I said, I digress. But let's go back to this. Have a plan B. The good news is, while things are quiet in your own personal economy, okay, that's the time to start to make sure you have enough in your food stockpile, grocery stockpile. Food in the freezer is money in the bank. I said this over and over again. Plan ahead, meal plans, component plan. I went through that thoroughly on separate videos. You could always check them out. Have a plan B. One of the things that frugal people do is they're always looking a little bit ahead. A little bit ahead is better than not looking at all.